So guys, welcome back to the channel, and in today's video we're going to be fitting this, which is a dash light kit. I've already had this open so everything's out, but it's these little LED strips that light up. Also we've got some double-sided tape, a trim tool and the RGB controller for it. So I'm just going to plug this in and now you can see what it'll do. So as you can see here, it's now plugged in. This is the USB version. So you got your little control, you can turn it on and off. There we are, let's point at the right thing. You can change all your colours, that thing. But this is the one I'm interested in, and also turning it down as well. So it's just a little faint backlight. And the reason I'm interested in this, and probably in fitting, so this is just a two-piece kit to go on the front of the dash. I'm interested in doing the bigger kit, which will do the whole car, but for reasons I'll show you in a minute. So here we are in my wife's car, lovely Polo R line that we rebuilt for her on this channel. And as you can see, just under there, all along here, and then over on this side, and then also up in the top there are lights for ambient lighting. Now you can see that there in the day you can barely see the strip when it's not illuminated, and that's the kind of thing we want to go for. This feels so nice when you're driving this one at night, and that's something I want to replicate on the Fabia Monte Carlo, that being the top spec. Now inside the Fabia Monte Carlo, and what we want to do is run our long one all the way along here up into this corner, and then run our short one from that vent along the bottom there, just here, this side. So then we've got that dash lighting effect. Now some of the other kits, they do have door lights and things like that. That is something I want to do. But so as you can see there, just down in this corner, that's the effect we're going for. Obviously this needs to be trimmed and whatnot to fit. And down in this corner just here, if it'll focus, that just wants a bit of sticky tape on that, I think, just to hold it up there in that corner as it should be. Yeah, so I don't know how trimming this is going to work, because we're going to need to trim it so it'll fit, but with it I'll kill any of the LED chips in it. I'm not too sure, but it does fit there as we would want. Obviously these connections are going to be the big trouble there, but it will fit and clip under the dash as it should, and that should hopefully stay largely in place there. So what I want is that gap there where you can barely even see it's there. So if I unplug it like that, just like on the Polo R line. Again, now with this plugged in and set to some random pulsing mode, this is the kind of strip we want there. Personally, I should have it set to white, I think, or maybe green, or maybe red to match the interior, but probably green because it's the colour of Skoda, or white. And turn that brightness right down just for that premium feel. What I have done here is I've just recessed a small channel in there using one of those multi-tool things with a cutter. Just get it in here. So a little bit more trim work to do, but this is set about perfect. So I'm going to leave that as it is. Now I'm going to work on fitting it around this corner. Getting that, just unplug that, and then for this bit we're going to use the double-sided sticky tape, I think, to stick it to the back end of that trim. Yeah, so I'm just going to get things loosely set up where they need to be for now. Putting off the cables dangling to come down here, just very temporarily, to see if this is something that I do enjoy or not. So this is how we have it now set up on the main dashboard. Obviously you can open and close this as much as you want. You're all good. So from here right the way down, that is now double-sided sticky taped up, held in, love to see how that holds up in the summer. Obviously it comes round here. It does dive a little bit out from the trim here. Luckily it is black. It's nice and even spacing all the way down, and then here, so where it goes behind the clocks there, what I've done is I've slightly elongated that hole there for the trim, the one here that sits on top of the dash. Slightly elongated that hole because no amount of high bond double-sided tape was holding that on for that radius. Obviously that's pinched in there nicely by the relief I cut in the dash. So for it to hold that nice gentle radius, elongated that hole and then just put a little hole just in the side there at the back, so then our cable tie can go through. And I have tested that, and that does now fit. Obviously with all the cutting, wiggling and whatever I was doing, I needed to test that this was back on. It is back on. So now I'm going to fit up the same on this side, hopefully with less dash cutty. And this, guys, is the finished product. So as you can see here, so I did the same on this side for the trim, to cut in the back just there, again with that tool. So that's in there now, again glued up under the vent, and then obviously that now extends from here, so it ends nice there, comes around, obviously like I say, it dips out that little bit there, and comes around and does the nice sweep down, all the way to the other side. Then obviously, what I can do now that we're in the car, set that to white. And yeah, I absolutely love that. I think it's going to be interesting with it at night, see what it looks like, and obviously you can mess with the brightness there. So that's when it's dimmest, and then yeah, we can really turn that up nice and bright, and then we can also go through the different modes there, and yeah, I do think that looks okay. It's a bit this mode's a bit too Mercedes for me, if I'm perfectly honest, but what I will do is just open the door there and just yeah, that's what we get. So that's the ambient light install on the Mk3 Skoda Fabia.